Hi everyone, it's Shannon. Welcome back to the Cozy Christmas Cottage. Today I have 10 different Christmas DIYs I want to share with you. All are created using Dollar Tree items. And first up is this Christmas snow globe. I really love these unique jars that Dollar Tree has. They have a solid metal lid. And what we're going to do is use little miniature items from Dollar Tree to create our little landscape. And you just need to make sure that they are going to fit inside your jar. So as you can see, I'm just kind of testing to make sure that I can squeeze them all in there before taking my hot glue and gluing them down into the bottom of the lid. And for the snow, I'm using Epsom salt, which also is from the Dollar Tree. You want to pour a little bit into your glass jar, and then you can twist your lid onto the top. It's upside down right now, but what we're going to do is very carefully tip the jar over so our snow will kind of slide down the side and then into the bottom. And that way we will get that snowy look on the bottom of our landscape. I also decided to add a little bit of red and white twine to the bottom to dress it up. This is such a simple and quick, easy project, one that cost only about $3 to make. I think this would be so cute if you made several of them and made a snowy scenery, very cute for a mantle or on a shelf. Next up is this gorgeous wintertime wreath that you really could use all season long. I'm using a pair of scissors to cut up a Dollar Tree baby blanket. It's made of really nice soft fleece, so it gives a really cozy look to our wreath. We're going to take those strips and hot glue them, twisting them around a Dollar Tree willow wreath, and just continuing all the way around until the whole thing is covered. Here I am hot gluing 3 of the bottle brush trees to the inside of the wreath. I love these trees. Usually I grab several packs of them at the start of the season because they do sell out really quickly, but they come in so handy for so many different projects. Next, we're going to add a bow to the front. I loved this yarn from Dollar Tree. I'm using the packaging from those trees to just loop it around and around. I tied a knot in the center, and that gave me a really simple and quick bow that I then hot glued onto the front of the wreath. If you enjoy this channel and all things Christmas, I hope you'll also come over to Instagram and follow me over there. You can find me at TheCozyChristmasCottage. I'll also link that down in the description box below. You'll find even more Christmas and holiday inspiration over there. This holiday candle not only makes beautiful decor, but it also makes a wonderful gift idea. I'm using one of the tall jar candles from Dollar Tree and melting it down. I just have it sitting in a pot of water, and then once it melted down most of the way, I saved the wick because we're going to be using this to create our new candle in a glass that was also from Dollar Tree. Here I am preparing the wick for the new jar. I'm using some Super Unix super glue to glue the metal down into the bottom of my glass. I also hung the wick from a pencil so it would not fall in, and then poured my melted wax into the glass. And at this point I added a few drops of cinnamon and peppermint essential oil. I let the wax cool, and before it had completely hardened, I came back in with some crushed peppermints from Dollar Tree and added those to the top. I did press them in a little bit, that way they would stay in place. Next, I trimmed the wick down to a smaller size. I let the candle sit and cure and hard completely before I actually was able to light it. You can see here I have it sitting on a plate, just kind of cute and simple in our kitchen, but such a pretty gift idea or home decor item. Something you can make really inexpensively, and you could even make several of these at one time. Such a sweet little gift and decor item. I am sort of obsessed with tiered trays. I love decorating them. So this one is a Christmas version of an enamel tiered tray. I have a pie pan, an 8-inch size, along with a set of burner covers and also a round mirror from Dollar Tree. And I gave all of these pieces 2 coats of white chalk paint. And here, instead of the traditional black enamel look, I'm using a red chalk paint around all of the edges. This really gave it more of a holiday and festive look. And now it's time to piece these all together. I'm using E6000. The pie plate is flipped upside down on the bottom first. Next is the larger burner cover. I'm also using some candlesticks that I painted white from Dollar Tree. Next is the smaller burner cover. Another candlestick before it's topped with that round mirror for the top. If you also enjoy tiered trays and the way they turn out after they are decorated and styled, please give this video a thumbs up. This was probably one of my most favorite tiered tray designs. As a little Santa mug from Dollar Tree, a few items from the Target Dollar Spot. The little candy spoons are even from Dollar Tree, which I'm hoping they will have again this year. And then also an antique spool that has a Santa carved into it, some little mini Rae Dunn mugs, and again, those fun bottle brush trees that you can find at Dollar Tree during the Christmas season. And I'm sure this little snow globe at the top looks familiar, as it's one of the projects we created earlier in this video. I would love to hear down in the comments below if you usually have a white Christmas or not. Ours here in Illinois usually is hit or miss. It's pretty much guaranteed we will get some kind of snow during the holidays, but we haven't had snow on Christmas or Christmas Eve for many years, so hopefully this year will be different. This next project is using some milk bottles from Dollar Tree, and I kind of created a nice little grouping. These are all getting a couple coats of white chalk paint first. The bottom tray is where the fun part comes in. I decided I was going to try to make it look like wood, and my brown chalk paint really didn't give it the look that I was hoping for, so I ended up coming back in and doing a faux technique with it instead. So after this brown dried and it wasn't quite looking the way I was hoping, I decided to add a coat of yellow paint. And this may seem a little bit odd, but it will definitely make more sense after we add a couple more other layers of brown paint. So this is just an acrylic paint in the color King's Gold, and I gave the whole thing a good coat of it before moving on to the next step. Now after the yellow dried, I came back in with traditional burnt umber acrylic paint and gave it a coat of that, and you can see now that we are starting to see sort of a wood grain look. I wanted to darken it up some more, so I came back in with a second coat of the traditional burnt umber, and now we really have that faux wood look. Now the outside is looking really nice. I didn't even mess with painting the inside because you're not even going to see it once we put our bottles in there. And now I'm taking a Dollar Tree gift bag and cut out a little saying from it and Mod Podged that onto the front. And here I decided to add some of that red and white twine around the neck bottles, and that is going to really give it that Christmassy look and feel. I also tied some of that twine around the base and then used some beautiful berries that Dollar Tree had to stick into the tops, but you could even add some maybe silverware to this and use it for a gathering. You could add straws to it for a hot cocoa bar. So I'd love to hear your ideas of what else you could use this display for. I love containers. They become something that's not only organization, but also a really pretty decorative piece too. I'm sure we all have special Christmas wishes during the holidays, and this is a fun way to kind of keep them all in one place or give them a special place within your home. So this is a sign that I flipped over and painted with white chalk paint. That is from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to give this a shiplap look. So 2 coats of white chalk paint to start. And this is how I get that faux shiplap look. I'm finding the points that will make a straight line on this sign and using a ruler and a Sharpie to create my lines. Now the thickness of the ruler is going to be the thickness of my shiplap, so I'm keeping my ruler in place after the first line, and I'm going to add a second line underneath, and that is going to create our planks. And I'm going to relay my ruler onto the line that we made previously, line it up, and then create another line underneath, and repeat this process along the whole sign. I also added some vertical lines and some little nail hole dots to give it more of a realistic look. Here I am cutting down a Dollar Tree wreath. It was a little bit too big, so I just sliced it and then cut off a section and retwisted it together so it made a nice size and fit onto the sign. Then I just used some hot glue to place the wreath and keep it onto the front of the sign. And then I marked a couple spots where I can drill some holes into the front. We're going to attach the jar onto the front of the sign by using some string and going through those holes and tying a knot in the back to securely place it on the front so it will hang nicely. Here I am adding a vinyl decal to the front of the jar that says Christmas Wishes. I will have this available in my Etsy shop, which is The Creative Cottage. You can find me at DIYer Creative Cottage on Etsy, and I will link that down in the description box below as well. Just adds that extra little special touch. And then at the top, I'm adding some more new jute to the holes that were previously there. That way you can hang your sign and your jar and your Christmas wishes from a door or a wall or from a hook, wherever looks best in your home. This tree can come in handy for so many things. You can add lots of different items to the little clips we're going to be adding to it. And we're going to be using rulers from the Dollar Tree to make this entire thing. So I'm cutting down rulers to 4 different sizes. You just want each one to be a little bit longer than the next. And I'm using a miter box to do that. And you can find that in my Amazon favorite store. I will link that down below too. I'm putting 2 rulers together to make a long stick up the middle, and then hot gluing my cross pieces onto that longer piece. I also have a wood star at the top that you can find at Dollar Tree, and then I'm also using Dollar Tree mini clothespins onto the front, using hot glue for the entire thing to piece it all together. I painted my tree and also all of the clothespins white, but you could also paint your tree green and make it look much more traditional. We're going to have our tree sit upright within this bucket as the base. The foam is also from Dollar Tree. They have the best deals on styrofoam, so great place to always get your styrofoam from. I just added quite a bit into my bucket before pushing my tree down into the center, and then I also used some Spanish moss from Dollar Tree to cover up the styrofoam in the bottom. I love the versatility of this tree, that it can be used for so many different things, not just decorative purposes. You could clip on photos or Christmas cards or even ornaments, but I love the idea of also maybe making this into a charitable type tree where if you have an event, guests could clip money onto the front, or if maybe a church needs donations or like an angel tree, they could clip on little notes of things that are needed onto it. So lots and lots of ideas. I hope that this tree also brings you lots of inspiration and becomes really helpful for you during the holidays as well. These modern farmhouse trees were a Target hack. I saw these at Target and they were pretty pricey and they looked pretty simple. They just had sort of a paper bottom. So I went to Dollar Tree, found 3 different sized containers, filled them with Dollar Tree styrofoam, and used the trees that they had available there to create sort of a knockoff look for a lot cheaper of a price. I just popped off the plastic pieces that were on the bottom of the Dollar Tree Christmas trees and then hot glued them down into the styrofoam in the containers. I did have to cut some branches off of the smallest one, that way I would get that tiered look that I was going for. I also cut off those top extra long wonky branches that were on these trees, and then I have some craft paper that's from Dollar Tree. They come on a roll, and made triangles, like cut squares and then folded them into triangles, I would get that same look that the Magnolia collection has from Target. Just to get that look, I also use some Scotch tape to actually just tape these on and around, and then also dress them up a little bit with some jute. I want to say that the least expensive one of these trees, the smallest one at Target, was well over $10. And so you would easily spend over $30 for these as a set. However, I was able to create these for about $10, which is less than the cost of one of the Target ones. I pretty much every year create my own gift wrap. It's such an inexpensive way and it's going in the trash anyway, so you might as well save yourself $1 but still make it look really nice. I'm using some white wrapping paper from Dollar Tree. This is in their like regular birthday section, and I'm just wrapping up a box just to give you an idea of what it looks like. And once the package is wrapped, I'm using this clothesline from Dollar Tree. It's red and white stripes, so it looks like an extra thick baking twine, and I just wrapped it around and tied it into a knot on the top. So keep your eye out for this. You can use this rope for so many different things, even decorative ways to use it. And then I'm using a little sprig. This was from a pick that Dollar Tree had. I used some more of that rope to tie it on. And then also Dollar Tree has some chalkboards. These have little clothespins on the back, so they worked out perfectly to be able to just write to mom or to whoever on the front. And I'm using a chalk marker to do this, and you just clip it right onto the package. And the cool thing about this is you can reuse these gift tags year after year. This is definitely not a traditional way to gift wrap for the holidays, but I don't think there's such a wrong way. This was definitely a way to get the holiday vibes through and a special way to give your gift to your recipient. Next is a milk and cookie set. You always need this. Doesn't matter how old you are. I feel like you need to have a milk and cookie set for Santa on Christmas Eve. So this is a tray from Dollar Tree. Again, I'm using my white chalk paint to give it, along with a milk bottle from Dollar Tree, 2 coats of white chalk paint. Again, I'm going to be adding decals to the fronts of these. You can find these in my Etsy shop. You can go to crossmyheart.com, or I will have it linked down in the description box below. It's super easy to just peel your vinyl away from the paper backing. You apply it to your surface. This works on painted surfaces. It works on glass, metal, wood, plastic. walls, anything that's like not sort of like a fabric porous type material, and you just press it down with a squeegee or something hard and flat, and then you remove that transfer tape off the front, and you're left with a beautiful design. And yes, I'm dressing this up again with my red and white twine. You get so much on these rolls, and I love using it because it really has that candy cane or peppermint look. Perfect for the holidays. So I just twisted this around the handles of that tray to dress it up, and I also added some to the neck of the milk bottle. All of these ideas are such a budget-friendly way to help create a cozy home for the holidays. I would love to hear down in the comments which one was your favorite. Please give this video a thumbs up for me as well. That helps out my new channel so very much. And I hope you'll also subscribe so you can stick around for more holiday inspiration throughout the year. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.